Thank you for clicking Dr. Samurai Minute Lecture. In this video, I would like to answer the question of, does violence solve problems? My name is Dr. Samurai. I'm a professor specialized in international social pathology, which studies social problems commonly found across nations. Does violence solve problems? I would like to base this video on two articles. One by Gendai Business in Japanese, titled "Let's Try to Interpret Why Russia Started the War," from the words by Sigmund Freud. The other by Kodansha Publishing Company, titled "Why the United Nations Cannot Stop the War." Let's try to interpret it from Sigmund Freud's suggestion of the power which excels national interests. I would like to go through the points by those two articles very quickly, and then would like to discuss it on my own terms. The articles go: our rights and violence are both sides of the same one coin. When there was a conflict between the interests of two people, it used to be solved by violence. Originally, that violence was physical violence, but gradually people started to own weapons as intelligence by brain started to be more powerful over physical power. With weapons, it became easy to kill the opponents. By killing the opponents, there were two merits. One is they could terminate the conflicts forever. And two is, by showing the murder, it made a good example to stop others from challenging you. At the same time, they could satisfy their impulsive anger by killing the opponent. However, as time passed, once they could plant overwhelming fear on the other people, they came to stop killing others and started to take advantage of the opponents by using them for their labor. In these societies, as a matter of course, those who were most aggressive and powerful came to the position of power, and they became a ruler. However, this type of society scared most of the people with less power, which in time led them to the society governed by the law. And to set it up, those less powerful people united together to fight against the ruler. That means less powerful people started to gain power by forming their own community. In other words, it was the violence by the number. In this kind of community governed by the law, after time passed, there came to be inequality among people. The law cannot always satisfy everybody. So at this point, there were two forces. One was trying to put it back to the era when violence governed. The other was the one for those who felt inequality, try to have the law reflect their own demands by social actions. And in reality, there came an era in which those who have power actually govern under the law. And then there came time when innumerable confrontations, conflicts, and battles happened, which were then solved by the power. And as the geographical political unit became larger and larger, which were created by military power, there occasionally came a time when large areas like Roman Empire were created, where sometimes relatively a longer peaceful time was maintained. However, such a large political unit created by militaristic power could not govern people peacefully forever. And now we see the situation like Putin's Russia is invading Ukraine today. And the article suggests the only solution to this kind of situation is to establish the world's central government by all the nations transferring their power to that central government. And the central government ruled the whole global community. But obviously, at this moment, we cannot do it, as we see the United Nations does not have such power over superpowers such as Russia. Oh, if you like this kind of discussions, please click that green and yellow Good Luck Charm logo. And now, I would like to discuss the information I have introduced to you from those two articles on my own terms as international social pathologist. So the argument comes down to establishing a powerful central government which can police over the whole global community. It is so true. But as my own arguments regarding this discussion of does the violence solve problems, I would like to discuss two issues. One is why at this age of supposedly democracy could this kind of invasion happen? The reason is capitalism. We human beings experienced a long time in which problems were solved by violence. But due to the fear brought by the kind of society, people started to came down to the type of society which is governed by the law to live their lives more peacefully. But now again, that supposedly peaceful society was gradually changing into the one in which violent rules. Because the capitalism promotes individual interests intentionally, because individual interests are the very engine of capitalism, in which products or services are sold to consumers with self-interest. Without this active interest, capitalism cannot run. And getting close to the ending stage of capitalism, in which that the idea of individual interests permeated completely into the minds of each individual leader of each nation, is also becoming more self-centered with their strong self-interests. The leader of the nation is an extension of the citizens in the nation. And from a different angle, only those with extraordinary self-interests can become national leaders. So, due to this intentional promotion of self-interest by capitalism, the world is now surrounded by national leaders with way stronger self-interest, which, as a matter of course, lead to more frequent international confrontations and conflicts. So, although many people assume it is the age of democracy because of the capitalism we chose as the foundation of running the world, we are now facing more competitions than ever before. And this is why we see so many nationalistic leaders everywhere and so many confrontations and conflicts everywhere between national leaders. And then, in a nutshell, how can we solve this situation? It is, of course, ideal that we transfer the power of each nation to the world central government, United Nations. But if we can do that, we are not seeing the conflicts between US and China, and Russia and Ukraine, and so forth. So, as a result, we are now seeing, as I have said, so many nationalistic leaders competing and conflicting against each other everywhere around the globe, which we can fly around only in 35 hours by plane. Is there any solution over this problematic world situations? Or does violence solve problems? Here's my answer as a Japanese social pathologist. In the Japanese underworld, where so many Yakuza organizations exist over the nation, a peaceful time was achieved when one outstandingly powerful and large crime organization called Yamaguchi-gumi governed the whole underground, in which there were so many other smaller organizations. The boss, Mr. Kazuo Taoka, was a very powerful person, aggressive and violent, while at the same time very wise and caring about his family members. He never collected membership fees from his membership organizations, saying that it is wrong for the boss to take money from his children. I think this could be one possibility to achieve world peace in transitional form. At this moment, communism regimes and capitalism regime are confronting each other. China, Russia, North Korea, Cuba, and others, and the United States, United Kingdom, European Union, Australia, Japan, and all the other countries. As long as those two regimes are facing off against each other, there will be another Russian invasion in the future. The world will not be able to do anything again. So, my practical hope is, most realistically, the United States have a true leader in the future who has truly democratic minds and thinking, but at the same time who is powerful and charismatic with the aggressive side that can turn off of challenging nations against the United States. He deal with all the other nations, no matter East or West, or communism or capitalism, as the world boss, put them all under him, both by his wisdom and power, form a solid world order in which no other countries, including China and Russia, Brazil, and India, and Iran, cannot even say no to him. And he set up and establishes this democratic world system that can transfer to the final stage of UN as the world central government, having the only nuclear weapons which can police and back off any other superpowers in terms of militaristic capability. Although this sounds a little childish, this is based on the reality in a Japanese underground, and that tradition is still lasting even today. Yamaguchi-gumi having the most power over all the other local organizations. So what I'm suggesting here is this Yamaguchi-gumi is going to establish some kind of national syndicate which has the absolute say over all the other local organizations to maintain national peace. This is it for today, and thank you very much for watching this video. Does violence solve problems? I would love to hear what you have to say about my message. And also, if you like this kind of discussions, please click that red Dr. Samurai logo. Wherever you are, my friend, over this beautiful planet, during this same short period of time we share today. Thank you very much now, and have a wonderful day.